Hey folks, I'm Sydney, an Ignite Studio assistant, and today I'll be going over the steps you'll take to do a screen print with the equipment available at Ignite. Screen printing is using a silk fabric on a wooden frame to make multiple prints on absorbent surfaces like paper and fabric. You might want to use screen printing to make large quantities of t-shirts, cards, posters, prints, and more. Ignite's screen printing kit has almost everything you'll need to do a successful screen printing job. The kit will come with a screen that looks like this. You will also have squeegees available. This one with the red rubber is for when you're printing on fabric, and it has a rounded edge. This squeegee with the less flexible rubber and the sharper edge is for printing on paper. You'll also have a spatula to get ink onto the screen, and tape for blocking out the screen before printing. Before we start our screen print, you should remember that at Ignite, to use our screen printing kit, you must bring some of your own materials. We have a small amount of black ink and plenty of paper to practice on. But if you want to use our equipment to create your project, you should bring your own ink and materials to print on. Ink is easy to find at big box stores. Today we'll be using a Cricut to cut out vinyl that will act as a stencil on our screen. If you're familiar with the Cricut, you may know that you can use it to cut out heat transfer vinyl, which irons onto t-shirts. So why do this extra step of screen printing if we can just use the Cricut to cut out this heat transfer vinyl? Well, screen printing is a good alternative to using vinyl if you're making large batches of t-shirts, and the ink is much longer lasting than vinyl. The ink also makes for a softer, more comfortable shirt, and the colors are usually more vibrant and customizable than vinyl. If you have any questions about this process, feel free to pause this video and look at our other online resources on how to use the Cricut. Make sure to mirror your design in Cricut Design Space before you cut it, because we'll be applying the stencil to the back of our screen. I'll then send my project through and weed it how I want. When weeding this, I have to keep in mind that the parts I pull vinyl out of are where the ink will run through the screen, so the empty areas in the stencil are what will be colored with the ink. When we're done weeding our stencil, we'll put transfer paper on our design so that we can move it to a screen. Now that our vinyl is ready, we flip the screen over to the back. Here's where we'll apply the vinyl in the center and use the tape included in the kit to block out the rest of the screen, so that the only area that is available to push ink through is what we've chosen when we did the weeding on our stencil. Then we'll attach our screen to Ignite's press for easy printing. Feel free to ask a staff member for help accessing this piece of equipment. We'll ready our material for printing by making registration marks with tape on the press to ensure our paper is placed in the same spot every time. We'll do this by aligning the corner of the paper to the corner that we create with the tape. Now, spoon ink onto the top of your screen. While you hold your screen up and away from your material, you'll use the squeegee to pull the ink down the screen and through the printing area. This is called a flood fill. Flooding the design ensures ink is even in the screen and ready to print. Now you can gently set your screen down on your material. While holding the squeegee at a 45-degree angle, pull or push the ink at the bottom back to the top to complete your print. Lift the screen and move your print to an area to dry. To make your next print, we'll just put a new paper down, flood the screen once again, and keep this cycle going to make as many prints as you want. If you're doing a print with multiple colors, make sure to let colors dry in between layers. And if you're printing on fabric, make sure to set the ink with heat before washing. Your ink manufacturer will have instructions on how to do this. Now that we're done printing, we'll take our spatula, squeegee, and screen over to the screen printing cleanup booth in the cleanup area. We'll set aside the squeegees and spatulas to clean in the sink with soap and water. Now set your screen up in the booth and use warm water to rinse out your screen. The water should make the adhesive on the tape and vinyl easier to remove. When all the bits of tape and vinyl are taken off, use the scrubbing brush and soap to ensure that both the frame and the silk are free of any ink. With the help of an Ignite assistant, set the frame in our screen printing darkroom with a fan on it to dry. Now you should be ready to use stencils to screen print as you please. Check out our other instructional videos on YouTube and stay connected to us through Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.